Hey everybody, this is Johnstad, voice visionary, singer-songwriter, and Om Times expert. And we are here today at the Om Times expert platform, and we're going to take questions, live questions about the power of word, about the power of setting intentions. We are here, it's the end of December, we're about to go into New Year, and I'm going to take 1 minute of time now and wait for everyone to gather online. Get your questions ready. We have a 20 to 30 minute stream today happening at Om Times expert platform. Now let me find you all so I can answer your questions. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm here in Berlin. It is 6 p.m. in Berlin. As you see, it's dark outside, and I am still, luckily, I'm still celebrating a little bit the holidays, a little bit of quiet time before we go into the new year. 6 p.m. in Berlin, that's 12 p.m. in New York City, and 9 a.m. on the West Coast, LA, Seattle, San Francisco. Hi everybody, it's great to see you here. Today we're going to talk about word and the power of intention. And let me scroll down and just see if I can see the live stream happening so that I can make sure that I get all of your, I still don't see it. Sometimes it takes a while, right? So I can make sure that I see all of your comments. I'm going to refresh here my browser. I'm always laughing at all the new words that we have since we are connecting through internet. Things like I'm working on clouds and everything's in a stream. It became very, very natural, right? The power of words. So before we used to work in buildings, and now we tend to work, put our work on the clouds, which is very funny. So let me look again. There I am. So here we are at the Om Times Experts platform. My name is Johnstad. I'm a voice visionary, a singer-songwriter, and my passion is voice. My passion is opening up the voice through, this big portal, and we open it up through physical exercises and also all the mental mindsets and all the belief systems that we have. The voice is also in many layers. It has the dream, our dream states and collective consciousness states. And so there you have it. So welcome, Carl. Welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to focus a little bit on the power of word. The power of word and intention. There is I think in almost every religion, and even the physics know it, that words have power, they have energy. And many of us take this time at the end of the year to put our intentions into words, whether we speak it or whether we write them down. And what are the secrets to making those words more powerful? On Om Times, there's a webinar coming up. I merged the one from today with the one that's on January 2nd. So the next webinar is on January 2nd, and it's called Create Your Soul Goals. And some of you might ask, what's the difference between, let me open these comments now. What is the difference? Hey, hi Missouri. What's the difference between normal goals and soul goals, right? Namaste, Carl. And there is a powerful difference. There's really a powerful difference because many of us get caught into just writing all these to-do lists. And most of us, if we have all these to-do lists full of words, we get overwhelmed. It's exhausting. Just the thought of like, I need to, I need more financial freedom, or I need to drop some weight, or I need to produce more albums, whatever it is. And so how can we switch that into being connected with the passion of words and the passion of language? So share with me. Hi, Lynn. Lynn, it's 11 a.m. in Missouri. It is. And I'm originally from Wisconsin and Minnesota, and I was born in St. Louis, Missouri. So back home, it's also 11 a.m. I'm here in Berlin at 6 p.m. my time, Berlin, Germany, right smack in the middle of Europe. And we are on the same time zone as Paris and Athens, Barcelona, and all those things. So how many of you out there are driven by the voice, or how many of you are curious about the power your voice has to really channel all that inner wisdom and to bring balance and, oh, I mean, what else can we have? Health. There's so many things. I mean, there's so many things. The voice is connected to not only realigning your body, mind, spirit system, but actually connecting us not only with the whole world, but amazingly enough, also with past generations, and also projecting our visions into the future. And it's a never-ending energy cycle, right? How the voice just vibrates into eternity. So share with me if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll let you know about the next webinars coming up. We have Create Your Soul Goals, which is coming up now on the Om Times platform. Next one is going to be January 2nd. I decided to merge the one from today to January 2nd because I heard from a lot of people that you guys have a lot of things going on. And so I decided to take both of those and put them at the same time. January 2nd at, I think it's 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And all the classes at Om Times are taught live. You know, you can connect with me. You can even turn on the speakers and headphones. I can open up video systems if you want to have your face in the classroom. It's kind of groovy. And if not, you can also watch the recordings, which is very awesome because these classes, they stay there literally for a lifetime, right? So many people, they register and then 3 days later they either rewatch or they watch the first time. So we have at the beginning of January, Create Your Soul Goals, and then we have a course that I did in November, which is really about dissolving fear. That's the essence of this course. Is I work with a lot of clients whose basically their biggest fear is to speak up in front of bigger audiences. Now that audience depends on where you're from. So that audience, or where you're at. So that audience for one person might just be to stand up in the middle of a room at a meeting and speak in front of, let's say, 5 people. And for somebody else, it might be to take their voice onto a stage with 500 people in the audience or 5,000. And so 90% of us have some sort of stage fear, kind of holding us back. And so the course, Find Your Courage, Find Your Voice, which launches January 12th on the Om Times Expert platform, that's all about 4 weeks, dissolving fear. It's a mindset program, dissolving fear, and then stepping back into that space that we know as a child, where we're free, where we're highly creative, where we're deeply in flow, where there's no one actually who can stop us. We're unstoppable. And it's connecting back to that pure space of channeling your truth, standing in your opinion, if you like, and being able to share that. And it's my deep opinion, I guess, that once we all start getting connected with our heart and mind at the same time, and also with deep listening, but being able to bring our voices to the world, that we can speed up the evolutionary process on Earth. As you know, we're at the end of 2016, I guess depending on which calendar you're looking at, and it's a very important time to reflect on where we're at and where we want to go, the power of word, also the power of song, the power of chant. So for those of you on the call, we're kind of waiting for more people to gather, but you feel free to ask me anything you'd like to ask me about voice. I'm going to be focused a little bit more on word and intention today, but I can answer any questions. As far as last week we had how to reach high notes, or I've just had an operation and I don't have my singing voice. How can I get that voice back? So my specialty as a voice expert is actually to open voices so that they're very full and very dynamic. And I love connecting voices with the heart. And as a songwriter, I guess it's really living from that space, waking up in the morning, listening to what wants to be shown or spoken through me or written through me, and then basically singing that, writing that, producing that, and trusting that inner voice. So, what do you think, Lynn and Carl? Are you still here? It's always very funny to have flat screens in front of you because you sense the energy, but without you connecting or asking questions, it's going to be hard for me to read your minds. I can try and give it a few moments. Missouri. I'm trying to think, there's a very famous song with the word Missouri. Meet Me in St. Louis. That's what I'm thinking of. The film, Judy Garland, Missouri. Does anybody have any questions about voice that you'd like to ask me before we continue? I'll give you a moment to catch up. Some of you might be, of course, watching on your iPads where it's very difficult to type, right? Or listening. So again, this is Kara Johnstad, voice visionary and singer-songwriter. For those of you who don't know my music, it's out there. You can check it out on YouTube or stream it on Spotify. Or if you even want a personal copy, which is great as an independent artist, you can go to iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby and grab yourself a copy. But for those of you who also would love to do your own book writing, songwriting, speaking, to really sense what your purpose is, what your message is for this world. The webinars that we have that we're building up on the Om Times platform are exactly focused on those areas. They're focused on giving you the tools that you need to feel free with your voice and to really sense how this instrument that you've been given, it's part of all of us, can have an impact not only on the world but how you choose to lead your life, right? So we're talking about the power of word. We literally, you can get your head around this thought, that all the conversations, including the one I'm having with you today, all the books that you know in the libraries, now I'm talking about the Latin, alphabet. We're talking about 26 letters moved back and forth, black ink on white paper. I say the same thing when we're talking about music. It's basically 12 notes, black dots. And you have Tchaikovsky, you have Brahms, you have Adele, you have Amy Winehouse, you have Michael Jackson, you have Kenny Rogers. It doesn't matter. You have jazz, you have pop, you have rock, you have classical, you have world, you have all these different kinds of music, and you have only a very few components. And the same thing is with language. We have a very few letters, but behind the letters is the mystery of sound. So this I get into in the foundation trainings, the power of sound. What is sound? What is the sound or b, k? How do we connect these sounds to have our messages that we are here to give have an impact and make an impact on the world? A lot of us struggle with the fact that you're saying really, really important things, but somehow it can't be that everybody can't hear, everybody's deaf, and yet they're not coming through, they're not being heard. And a lot of times this has to do with understanding the power of letters, the power of word, the power of articulation. So as we come to the end of this year, we should be thinking about how our words actually can shapeshift basically our whole day, how our words can shapeshift whole projects or directions of our lives. And that's why it's important to take the time to write and to feel, and if you can, even to sing what I call soul goals. So, 2 new comments. Somehow I don't see them, so let me refresh this here. We are streaming from an iPhone, so that's where all the comments are on, or they're on the iPhone, and then I'm on the laptop. So this is the system that I have going in the moment. I do not see any questions in the moment from you guys. I do see that Lynn is with us, Lynn Schroeder from Missouri. I'm happy to see you. Hi, welcome, Lynn. And I also see that Carl Edward Howard, namaste, namaste, Carl, how are you doing, is here with us. And I'm here in Berlin. I'm here in Berlin. It's 6 p.m. in Berlin, or let's say it's now about 6:15. And that makes it lunchtime in New York City, a city I love, and also in Boston and the whole East Coast. And it makes it 11 a.m. in Missouri, Minneapolis, Wisconsin. And it makes it about 9 a.m. or 9:15 a.m. now, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco. We have also South America joining in. We have also, last time I think we had someone from Singapore on the call. So that's really, really late at night. That's for the night owls. When I stream here in Berlin at 6 p.m., we have the night owls happening over there in Singapore. So let me know. Okay, I have a message here coming in. Let me know if you do have questions on the voice, if you have questions on any issues that you kind of struggle with, that you'd like to heal, that you'd like to solve, or maybe you don't. Maybe you just love voices. I love voice. I love also making really funny sounds with the voice. That's like, for me, it's more relaxing than doing a movie. Like if you just kind of talk in weird voices, or if you go really low like this, you know, you can talk like this too. So I kind of love the play of voice that's possible. And for those of you on the call, I introduced it last week, and I will do it again this week. We have a special on private online voice coaching running until December 31st. And all you have to do, I'm going to type it into the chat bar, but all you have to do is when you go to my homepage, karajohnstad.com, all you have to do is type in big letters Times 2016. We're in the last days of 2016. So Times 2016, everything's in capital letters. And everything's in capital letters. And then you will get 25% off of online private coaching. That's one-on-one coaching. I can really hear then your voice. Most of my clients do it over Skype. Some people do it over FaceTime. So it's the same situation. We always have to find time zones that work. So for example, I have clients in San Francisco, and then I'm coaching here at 7 p.m. Berlin time, and then I'm there, I'm trying to think, it's 9 hours back. So whatever that is, we're there in San Francisco, right? I'm trying to think, what is 7? Okay, I got it. It's 10. Yeah, 10, right? So the same thing is, if you're in the States, or if you're in South America, if you're in Canada, that's a very easy thing. If you are in India, it's also easy, or Eastern Europe. I did a lot of coaching in Lithuania, and then I'm here maybe 3 in the afternoon, and then you have evening time over there. So if you'd like to have that online private voice coaching special, then all you have to do is you go to my homepage. I'm going to type it in now, and that's Kara Johnstad, did I type that right? Yes, .com. And then what you're going to do is the coupon code is times 2016. All right, so let me put this into the chat. I don't know why it's not adding here. Huh. Weird. Bizarre. Right? Times 2016. Let me copy and paste this into another, or I'll have to put on my lovely glasses. That would be a good one too. Funny. It's not taking my post in the moment, so let me just go back. Go to karajohnstad.com and then put in, if you want to do private coaching, that's the coupon code times 2016. There you're going to see different options, right? So for the people that want the mastery in voice, I mean, in the singing voice, as you know, I'm a singer-songwriter, so I taught for many, many years at universities, conservatories. Some of my top clients are on the biggest stages. And that's if you want to go, for example, into jazz voice, between classical and jazz. How do I belt? How do I heal the breaks in my singing voice? And the Voice Your Essence classes are focused really on singing repertoire, on the singing voice. If you look, I also have offerings for voice yoga. I am the co-founder of Yoga Voice Berlin, and also the founder of Voice Yoga. And these classes are done without a piano. They're really working on isolating the inner throat muscles, jaw muscles, tongue muscles, and bringing your voice out into the world. We have the singing voice, which we then work with easy songs, mantras, chants to connect with that power. We have the speaking voice, and I work with enlightened poets, Rumi, Hafiz, Tagore, or pieces that you bring to me and that we can work on opening the voice channel. And we also have what I call the inner voice and healing voice sessions, where if you have any trauma that has been present or coming up, or if you have any, a lot of people, they feel like this part of their body is simply stuck, right? They have something very important to say and suddenly, bam, the voice closes, shuts off, they're swallowing a lot, their voice is very tight, people suffering from laryngitis. And so these sessions are there for you. For some reason, maybe Liani hears this and she can type it in. I am not able to type in. I'm going to go out here and copy paste and maybe refresh my browser. So for those of you joining us, we're waiting for some more people coming on into the call. My name is Kara Johnstad. I'm a voice visionary, singer-songwriter, and Times expert. And we're doing these calls on Thursday to really share with you. Look at that. I refreshed my browser. I refreshed my browser. Singapore again. Look at that. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Hi, Jane. Hi, Kadir. Now I'm going to have to put on my glasses. I can sense that right now because there's so many. Happy New Year. Oh, well, Kadir, I'm not sure. I don't think I understand this. So, Abu Dhabi. Nice. Beautiful. So I'm only seeing the top 4 comments because I'm on my laptop. The big stream is happening over there. If I do not see your questions, just know you can post them again. They're running very fast on my laptop and I only see the top 4. I have my eyes in 2 places at once and also in the back of my head. Okay? So nice to see Singapore here with us again. I know it's very late. I was doing the time zones today. And I'm very familiar with the time zones to the East Coast and Pacific times in the United States because I do a lot of work also there and in Canada, South America. but I am not familiar with the time zones in Singapore, and I think you have like 1 in the morning or something. I think I remember, yes. So Janet, thank you. Thank you. Blessings for a new year. 1 a.m. Ha ha ha. Exactly. Exactly. Because I went to, what's it called? Timeanddate.com or something to figure out when all these streams. Wishing you a happy new year. Thank you so much. I believe you might say Iad. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Yeah, we have a really special time these last, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Chris. We have a very, very special time happening in these next days, and we have at the Times webinar platform, we have a webinar. I have a webinar coming up called Create Your Soul Goals for the New Year. And what's so special about soul goals is it's not connected to just writing down your to-dos, right? Because that just gives us a lot of stress. Perfect. Yeah, it says perfect. Exactly. That just gives us stress. Or at least it gives me stress. If I sit there and think, oh, I need to write a book and I need to produce this and I need to do more of that and do more of this, I actually find myself going into stress. And if you want to manifest things, and if you want to connect to that creative power is through passion. It's through love. It's through really listening to your inner voice and really aligning it with beautiful poetic words. So this webinar that we have coming up is actually to connect what your inner voice says, what your inner guide says, and then manifest that and put that into very powerful, poetic imagery. I'm not going to give away too much, right? But in a way that it becomes very, very visual. And you can carry these images and these visions and these emotions with you every single day throughout the new year, okay? So the difference is always when we set visions, because voice is also vision, right? Voice is dream, voice is vision, voice is collective consciousness, voice is community. What we're doing here, I'm reading the stream and already I see your words and I feel your voices. Oh my gosh, we are having really happening. So I'm going to read some of these things out loud here. Romeo wishes to all who need the help of God to make the year awesome in the following years. Yeah, I think the universal force is very strong. And I believe it's Wayna, but it might be Wayna, Yeo. You can correct me. I got inspired to produce my own podcast after meeting you. Felt really good speaking out instead of writing. I know, doesn't it? I do both. I'm a songwriter, so I do songwriting and I write. I have big journals. And I did many, many years also writing articles. And I do have a podcast. It's on SoundCloud. So if you want to check out the podcast, you can go to SoundCloud and put in my name, Kara Johnstad, or go to karajohnstad.com and you will have those podcasts for you. But I know exactly how you feel because we can pour more quickly, actually. I think a lot of people are writing books now like this, that they're literally, someone's interviewing them and then they're speaking the answers and then they have a book together in a weekend, more or less, which is crazy. If you think about all the people that are struggling with like sitting down and writing and suddenly they create really powerful questions and then they have that book in 2 days or whatever. So share with me, you guys. We have a shorter call than normal today. I promised my team in the United States, I promised them. I always love pouring and sharing and flying with you. But I did promise them, because we all have very busy schedules, to do a 20-30 minute call. So share with me any questions you have about the voice. Otherwise, for those of you that are tuning in a little bit later, we have a special running on the private online voice coachings with me, if you want to study with me privately and learn about how to open and activate the fifth, we call this the fifth chakra, this beautiful energy portal, which is between your heart and between your mind, and connects your inner worlds to your outer worlds, and the outer worlds brings it through your ears, through your mouth, through your nose, everything, all these senses into your inner world. Then all you have to do is go to my homepage and, oh, please stay, please stay. Oh, I have such, I'm sorry, I'm reading this. Liani Buck is this amazing woman who is the founder of Om Times, and she is really a powerful force. So when I go live, she supports me in putting this all over the place. So it's fantastic. It's very, very fantastic that she's able, right, able to help me to share the beauty of our work. So where was I? We have, it's a meditation that helps us reach the fifth sense. It is. It's meditation. Romeo, that was a comment from Romeo. It's meditation, but I think, and this is what I always say to people, silence is golden, and time to reflect is very important. But for me, until you have found your true voice in this world, it's a little bit tricky to go into silence. Maybe you find your true voice through silence. But I know a lot of people, and I'm lucky enough to have clients from all different places and all different levels of income, and they can jump out of airplanes in parachutes, and then they have fancy sports cars, and they can do a lot of things, and they're terrified to sing happy birthday to their wife, right? And they might even be sitting for hours in meditation. They might be drinking green smoothies in the morning and thinking that everything's cool, but they cannot express their heart or their truth. And so I really think, because I've been working with a lot of people, that, okay, I'll get that to you in a second, Singapore. I think that it's both. We need time for reflection. That's the inner voice work. But we also need time to trust this voice and bring it out into the world, in books, in meetings, in magazines, in languaging, in podcasts. We need to connect. I'm a very big believer. I used to run a radio show. I used to produce a radio show, and I always said global mind, global heart. And we cannot get to that place of a global mind or a global heart without connecting every single voice in this world. It's not possible. So every single one of us has a very important link. We are masterpieces, pieces of this incredible mystery, and we need to bring our voices out. So to answer your question, how do you have private sessions for voice coaching through your page? It's very easy. If you go through, you can go also through Om Times platform, but in the end you'll end up at the karajohnstad.com page, karajohnstad.com, and then we'll see if this works now to write it in. I'll write it in a second. And then what you do is you choose whether you want to work with me on singing at the, I'm at the piano, and the typical classical, not classical, that's the wrong word, but voice studies as far as singing is concerned. Or if you want to work on the speaking voice on the channel, and then we do a lot of work, they're called voice yoga sessions, where we can do that anywhere. You can be seated, you can be, you can be at a desk, you can be sitting on your couch, you can be on an iPad, and I work over Skype. Some people work over FaceTime. Google Hangout's supposed to be cool too. I haven't used it yet, but I normally work over Skype with my clients internationally. And that's how you do it. You book your sessions, and we have to find a time, because Singapore, I'd probably be here early in the afternoon, and you'd be, maybe not 1 a.m. or maybe it's a good time, sweetie. And then and then we're face to face. And I hear your voice, and you hear my voice, and I can really see any kind of tension that you might have in your jaw, your throat, your tongue, or sense certain communication patterns, and then I can help you solve those things that you want to solve very quickly, and then focus on your intent of where you'd like your voice to be. I hope that helped you. You have to let me know if you say Waina or Wena. Okay, it's very sweet that you're here every week. I think you've been here the last 3 weeks. We've just started doing the live streams from with Om Times. Let me check the time here. Excellent, excellent. So ask me your questions about voice. I put a little general theme today. You don't have to keep it, but just the power of word, the power of intent. We are in the last days of 2016, ready to go into 2017. I heard from many of you. Great, thanks. Many of you, I had a very powerful year. A lot of good things, a lot of things I had to reflect upon, a lot of great movements. I think there's been a lot of clarity for many people, but a lot of people keep on saying to me, oh, I'm so grateful when this year is over. So I'm not sure what that means, because for every day that I can do my work and be alive, I'm actually incredibly grateful. It doesn't matter if it's 2016 or 2017, but many of you know that next year is a 1 year. So if you do numerology and you add those numbers together, the 2016, this came to 9. So we're in a completion cycle. And the 2017 comes to 10. 1 plus 0 is 1, and new beginnings. Woohoo! Yeah, fireworks, new beginnings, new beginnings, new beginnings. Exactly. Let's see. Let me put on my fancy dancy reading glasses. Oh, I want 2016 gone. Oh, yeah, okay. So should affirmations always be spoken out loud, or does repeating them silently work as well? It also works. Repeating them silently also works, right? If we speak them out into the world, you have to remember that you also have the vibrations and the reflection from other things coming back to you, and you can listen in a different way. So I'm not sure if you've ever had that experience, but when you've written for yourself, and then you wrote in your journal, let's say, and then you reread it, you had a different reflection happening. So the same thing happens when you speak your affirmations out loud. And the most powerful thing to do is to chant them or to sing them. So when you're chanting or singing out loud, this has a lot of power as far as affirmations go. But of course, the mind is powerful, and inside our body, we can also hear our voice. I hope that helped you, Janet, right? Kifa, wait a minute. Oh, that's your last name. Haha. Okay, right. So I hope, we're slowly, ask a few more questions. We have about, Liani gave me permission to go till 1:45. So we have a few more minutes left here on this call, which is fantastic. You're welcome. Janet, you're very welcome. You know, and what I love about voice is feel free to experiment, right? So feel free to experiment with the power of your voice, and go to the woods, speak what you really would love to the trees, if you would like to have that sacred quiet place. Okay, so we do have a webinar coming up on Om Times. It's called Create Your Soul Goals for the New Year, and that's a very beautiful place to be, because it's not about setting random affirmations and a big to-do list, because that kind of makes us feel more heavy than light. It's actually about connecting with your inner voice and then finding empowered words for the new year that are juicy, that are connected to your heart, and that are very poetic. As a singer-songwriter, I understand the power of poetry and the power of rhythm. So when we start putting those visions into beauty, basically, and not like, I want to double my income by whatever, 100%, or I want a new car, or I don't know. I don't need anything anyway, materially. I think that's the clue. When we can start tuning in to our spirit, we will realize that what nourishes us and what gives us so much strength and so much energy is to be tapped in and tuned into that creative force that we are, that we all are. And when we start opening the voice chakra, that's what happens. That we start really being in alignment, our body, mind, spirit is in alignment with that force field. And that when we start putting out those visions and we start writing our books and we start speaking our messages and we start trusting our voice to be heard in meetings, or like Wayna said, to start a new podcast, or maybe somebody wants to dare to audition or dare to dream, then that's when these big shifts in consciousness happen, right? At the beginning of the call, for those of you who were not with me yet, I wanted you to contemplate that my language now and your chat stream and every single book you've ever had in your hand and every single film and every single video and every single podcast is all rotating not only around someone's voice, but around 26 little letters. Okay, I know we have different alphabets, so I'm talking about the Latin alphabet when we're talking about German, French, English, basically, more or less, give or take. So 26 letters rearranged in different patterns are giving us this powerful voice we call language. It's mind-blowing. And it doesn't matter which tradition you're from, almost every tradition says in the beginning there was word. Right? And word is the creative force behind. We have energy, but we also have language. Okay? So all of us are waking up hungry for word. We're reading the milk carton. We're reading the cereal boxes. We're looking at that shampoo and where's this from? We're looking on Facebook for the chats from beautiful friends. We're hungry to understand word, language, sound. So Romeo says, if one is in hunger and suffering, how can they get the mind of opening chakra of life? One in hunger and in suffering. Well, if I understand this correctly, Romeo, the beautiful thing is with the chakra, with the voice chakra, is even if you whistle or hum, it starts to nourish you. And you are not starving. You can really feed yourself with enlightened word. You can really, really fly pretty high. So the trick is, my trick is, and I think what we've forgotten as a humanity is not only the power of word, but we've forgotten that we have the tools inside through laughter, through dance, through singing, actually to lift up this planet onto a very, very high frequency and a very, very high vibration. And that is my passion, to help open the fifth chakra and to help you not only live that beautiful place, but to help all of us imagine a world where we open the windows and just say, hey, I love you. It's beautiful. You're good. Everything's fine. And we don't identify anymore with that victim suffering space. Imagine a world where we'd empower each other with every conversation, even if we're buying bread, okay? That we say, hey, have a good day. How are you? Imagine a world where we were consciously not bashing, but really lifting up people with our language. So, yeah. And that's how we do it, okay? So we are coming to an end. I can't believe it. The time has flown. It has flown. Fly like a birdie in the sky. Exactly. I'm always singing at the end of the call, so I'm going to have to think of a song. But before I end this amazing session, thanks so much everybody for tuning in from all around the world. It's really beautiful. This is our third Om Times Experts session. And I mean, we have it happening, right? New York, Singapore, we had at the beginning of the call, Missouri, right? I know, Romeo, who knows where you're from? I have no idea. You guys have to let me know. but it's such a beautiful vision. Just the vision of us all gathering to connect is powerful. And we have the Create Your Soul Goals for a new year coming up on the Om Times Lives Experts platform. I'm going to post the link after the call is finished. Then in January, on January 12th, I start a webinar on the Om Times Expert platform, and it is called Find Your Courage, Find Your Voice. And this four-week webinar is accompanied by guided meditation. And every week we really connect into different layers of how to dissolve the fears. And we really jump into a very free space that's very connected, highly creative, where you are no longer worried about living your truth and your voice. So that's launching on January 12th at the Om Times Experts platform. And for those of you who would like to have a special deal on my online private coaching, Om Times, I'm together with Om Times, and we have Illinois, thanks so much. We have a fantastic offer running until December 31st. You do not have to take the classes because we probably won't find a time in this very short time, and everybody's very busy. But if you go to karajohnstad.com, 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 and then you look, there's School of Voice, and you're going to see, I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called, private-voice coaching or something, but there's School of Voice, and you will see the different offers, and then you have Om Times 2016 is what you're going to type in at the checkout, okay? Om Times 2016. I'm trying to catch all these streams. Illinois, that's back home for me. I grew up in Wisconsin, went to school in Minnesota. Illinois, was born in St. Louis. Anyway, so this is the song for you. And then we're going to close this call. I love just flying, but we're going to close this call. If you see my dog walking behind me, he's a big golden retriever. And I think he wants to go out soon. But he won't distract me from singing this last song for you. So I released this. You love dogs. I do too. I have also 2 cats, and who knows, I grew up with cows and horses. Okay? So sing this with me. Don't let the ways of this world trip up your spirit walk. Rise. Okay? And then you're going to walk, walk, walk with your head up high. Walk, walk, walk with your heart open wide. Walk, walk, walk with your feet on the ground. Spirit walk, walk. Strong gait, standing tall, walking proud. Here we go, okay? This is on YouTube, you guys. You can check it out and you can learn this. This is what gets me through any kind of difficult day, is this song. Don't let the ways of this world trip up your spirit walk. Don't let the ways of this world trip up your spirit walk. Don't let the ways of this world trip up your spirit walk. Rise. You gotta walk, walk, walk with your head held high. Walk, walk, walk with your heart open wide. Walk, walk, walk with your feet on the ground. Spirit walk, strong gait, standing tall, walking proud. Thank you so much for joining me here today at the Om Times Expert platform, live stream. Here I am, here we are on Thursdays. I am wishing you an incredibly awesome last few days of 2016 and have a wonderful New Year's Eve. May it be peaceful. And we're going to come in Germany they say Guten Rutsch, which means Guten Rutsch. You like that? Guten Rutsch. It means have a great slide into 2017. I'm going to see you guys very soon. Again, sing, be powerful, check out the webinars, and much love, many blessings. Namaste.